Let's see. There we go. Okay. Just gonna design a set and maybe to get to film something. We'll see. Found that this little VR thing was causing me issues. I kept crashing the program. I remember having this problem stream before. And I found out it's because of that little VR thing. Which, yeah, it would have been nice to fix it, you know, have it fixed sooner, but, you know, issues fixed, so. Should I? What can you do? You know what, let's actually see what they have. Yeah, we could probably just fit a couple of these across. And you know, wait. All right, there we go. So she drops down. Okay. Let's see. Want these little guardrails here because you don't want to. It's more of a safety thing. So you have to think about this. Maybe we'll put in some decal work. So when it comes to set design, you know, form follows function. Just gotta remember. So adding these little poles here prevents like a forklift running into it. Oops. Okay. And then, oops. I wonder if there's some decal work up here. Yeah. One of these here. I have one of these too. There we go. Maybe another one. Sure. No. Wouldn't be safe. Let's think. Let's. Put some decal here. See how it looks on camera. Not too bad. to fix the lighting a little bit, but what you need to do. So yeah, thinking composition, lighting, how to light it properly. Not only that, but I want to make it a little bit, the fight scene a little bit visible here, you know. I'm trying to think how to frame it, how to frame a scene of suspense. Thinking of camera tricks, a couple of composition ideas to work with these racks, so I would probably frame it something like this. Character walking, and then, you know, just kind of think, how would I make it suspenseful? That kind of thing. So tomorrow will be mocap day, so see how I'm feeling. And let's just put this in the default viewport. So let's put in some boxes. Like this. Well, let's see if I have to put in a safe. Let's put in the box. That could be the safe. If I put safe here. So I would go like this. So the safe has to be here. Just like that. So framing. I would do. Like this here. Should be hiding like this. Set in there like this. Yeah, that's. She looks over, sees that. Eyes on the prize. Okay. The camera here. So right there. Sorry, didn't mean to belch. Just like that right there. Climbs down, just like that. So we're putting these crates in. How does it look? I think it can work. We just have to work on some smaller stuff here. So it looks over. Maybe she kind of looks over. Right here. If I put the camera at least here. That's the most important thing. Here, can I add a little blue light here? Just kind of work on it. Just like that. Yeah, that can work. Kind of this.
think it's okay for just leaving it static. You know, just have something like this. So you do this. So let's have a look here. Let's go back to the camera. I think it'll be okay as long as we leave this two alone. And we get to the next one. Okay, if we just do these two, right? See how much that will obstruct the view. We'll find out. Yeah, that'll work, you know. I think that's fine.
Doing fine, doing fine. Just doing a little set design here for this project. Things are getting better. Good. Let's see. Good. Let's see. Here. Good. Just like that. So tonight I'm just kind of doing some set design here. See how long I'll work on that. There. And then, so right here. There. So next I have to, I think we're almost done with this segment. So go up here, let's just fill the top space here. A bunch of crates and random junk. Let's see here. So, hopefully, we'll see what happens tonight. Wonder if I have some time. I'll show you guys how to. I'm thinking of getting a safe. So, see if we can get that open, or get that to like move. You have to actually import it as a skeleton mesh.
It's not too bad to learn. I'll eventually show you guys how to do one. How to do it. It's pretty useful for doors or something like that. So we'll be working with that. So just a little heads up. Here, eventually, get that working. Oh no. There we go. Hey there. What's going on? So, we'll get that situated here. The set design. Pretty far along that, so let's actually jump in and get that done. So what we need to do is get one of these. You know, I'm just gonna place a bunch of boxes up here. Doesn't really matter. Just like that. There we are. And just one of these things here. There you go. So we'll work with that. Some set design here. So character up here, character up here. Yeah, this can work. Especially the framing. Right there. So framing right here. Something to look out for. Kind of a lot of framing devices, what you can do, framing ideas. So you have to fight. Want to make sure the fight is visible. Okay. Let's just keep the camera back where it belongs. I think I don't need that. Looks better than an empty one. Yeah, that'll work. Yep, so we're just gonna save everything. Let's have a look here. Got a couple ideas I have for a shot. Couple ideas include this. here. So I'm kind of searching for ideas, what to play around with. You know, I think this is a pretty good site. You know, what to work with, what kind of ideas I have. It kind of gets me an idea of what to work, you know, how am I going to frame the scene, what colors I'm going to work with. Eventually, for other productions, I'm going to start kind of going through. Here. I'm doing some previs right now. Previs ideas for Red Strike and Sky Girl will be shot in, I think, 5.3 when that comes out. So I have a couple ideas for that. I don't know if I should change the setting. I had an idea here. I'll kind of take a little detour. Because, you know, I'm going to Japan in November, or actually December now. It got moved to December. So I'm thinking, you know, trying this set out and see what I can build from it, play around with it, a couple ideas. You know, this guy has a really good Kyoto set. I want to play around with that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe try Chaos. I don't know. I don't know if I want to change location or not, but I do have like quite a few ideas to play around with. I just don't know. Not that, but I have a feeling, you know, things might be interesting in the next couple of months, you know. We'll see what happens with Shockbreak. Slowly getting in. Sorry, I know I kind of run at a snail's pace with these projects and everything. But I've been slowly learning, trying to improve everything. And I think there's some serious potential. I think we might have something serious the next couple of months. I've been thinking about it. I know I'm going to have a new tool next month. I'll probably work on a video for that. There's just some exciting changes going on. You know? I think this is going to be an interesting fall. We can actually put some lines here. Just like that. Maybe a couple here laid out like that. I think, you know, I have a mocap suit, I have things, you know, there's just
a lot of potential, a lot to work with, and things are kind of gearing up pretty fast. You know, I think the new changes and everything have been slowly kind of getting into it. And not only that, but kind of knowing my abilities. I used to be very tough on myself, I guess is the best way of describing it. But now I'm starting to kind of have more confidence in my own work, to say. Let's see if they would be up here, so we could probably put some packages down below. That's going to work. So you want a little bit of a fighting arena. We're going to have a fight here. That, but I want to add like a prop here where she kind of grabs something. She's going to grab a glass bottle and smash it over his head. So we'll have to add something there. Yeah, a lot of new adventures, I guess, you know. It's just a little bit more confidence, I guess, in my own work. And I know some, you know, we can be our own tough critic, I guess, worst critics. Those who know me too well. I think that's actually what I'm going to do is let's increase the size of this thing to at least 1.25, just like that. Using for this one, this is 5.1. For a project, I'm using 5.2 for Red Strike, I believe. Yeah, Red Strike's 5.2. This is 5.1 since I've been working on it. I won't change versions. This one is perfectly fine as is. I think 5.3, I think they're still in its testing format yet, so it'll be some time. Probably soon then, you know the drill with Reolution. They wait several weeks to like they wait. There's a little bit of a pause when it comes to support, so it takes some time for them. Thinking maybe like Sky Girl would be 5.3, maybe. I'll find out. Is there any noticeable change in the workflow? Yeah, somewhat. You know, I think Lumen is getting better with each one. There's always change logs too, so there's always a release note for 5.2, like something to point out here. Oops. Like, like they started. I haven't really done anything with the piece, procedural content generation. So They just kind of make subtle changes. Like shadows, you can notice better shadows. I've noticed that with Red Strike. And yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. They're doing something with some. Also, for 5.2, I noticed there is actually a major change with 5.2. I'll show you. I don't know if this is just something I noticed. I'll kind of, let's just get out of this. It's causing bugs. Well, let me load up a project with 5.2. Actually, let me go see. Let me run a little experiment here. So let's try 5.1. And let's just duplicate the camera. And let's do this. Let's just pilot this one. And let's focus on her eyes. Maybe it's a 5 point. Let's have a look here. So, post-processing, let's just make sure. Let's go to ray tracing translucency. Type, let's go with ray tracing. Yep. So you kind of notice this with this ray tracing element. So I'll just switch back to a raster. So let's just save this and let's go to a different project. Let's go to Red Strike. Yeah, I'm going to delete this camera. Bear with me for a few minutes. I'll show you what I mean by this. What 5.2 is going to do. It's just gotta load up, you know. There we go. Let's go to last stop. Thought I fixed this. Oh well, I'll have to go into Substance and kind of add some textures, but okay. Let's go into our camera. Basically, for what I'm trying to attempt, yeah, it's an interesting formula, I guess. Don't really know how well. It will, like, you know, I think if you're starting a new project, I just do it in 5.2. So let's just go with her eyes. Yeah, the shadows are a little screwy, but just bear with me on this one. So we'll go to camera component. Let's go back to our translucency. And you noticed ray tracing. So the ray tracing works on the eyes. It's not producing this black, you know, overlay or whatever, you know, like that, but you can render glass pretty decently. It's kind of a
Just a little thing I've noticed between 5.2 and 5.1. Like I said, I gotta fix up her hair a bit. You know, once I'll get this scene set up and everything, so I think that was a pretty nice little. They fixed the little eye thing that people have been struggling with for a while. I think that was pretty nice of them. So let's go back into our 5.1. Yeah, it's just something I noticed. Like, I was experimenting. I think it was Endgame. It was a live stream, and I spent I kind of got distracted like I normally do. And I was playing with that little effect for about half an hour, and I noticed, yeah, I'm kind of confirmed that they probably fixed it in 5.2. So just something to take note of. And I think 5.3. What's new with 5.3? No, I do not want to know what a Chevy Silverado is. I don't care about that. You know what was really stupid? I wanted a Ford Maverick. I didn't want a Silverado. I wanted a Ford Maverick, you know, and unfortunately, the dealership had one listing, so I immediately went out and got one. Like, I was about to go and buy it because I was looking for a new car. Unfortunately, they had a year-long waiting list, and I was a little pissed off by that. It's like, well, I even asked them, like, why you guys list on the site? Why? It's like, no, nothing we can do. It's like, oh, great. I bought a Honda instead, or a Honda Civic, but let's see what the lighting is. Oh, that is cool. Okay, so there's nanite for landscapes. Looks like they're kind of focusing on better animation retargeting, which is pretty good. Oh, what's this? Ooh. This could work pretty nicely. I would keep an eye on this one. Of course, you have the deformer. So better. So there's a deform here. You can tell. For anamorphic lenses, so anybody who's shooting in widescreen aspect ratio, take note of that. Chaos pinpoint. Oh wow. Keep note of this one. I'll have to find out what that is. Sorry. We need to know more. There's also fluid dynamics. Good for explosions. Oh yeah, I think it's there. Okay, so groom. And it's blemishes. Ah, here it is. Yeah, I think they're really changing things up. Especially this one. This is actually a very interesting one. Clear coat. So for cars. Oh yeah. But it's still experimental. Ah man, I really should play around with that and yeah, there's a modeling tool, but that's in beta. I would just go with Blender. Yeah, just Blender. Here's the animation. Oh, okay, so geometry. Okay. Here's these. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, maybe Sky Girl will be in. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Sky Girl will be in 5.2. Or sorry, 5.3. I'll kind of wait on that. Yeah, let's finish this one first, and I'll think about it. I think for like virtual production and everything, it's really making a huge impact. Like I tell, like I would really get into it. Like I think there's no offense, there's some people who just wish for better iClone rendering. Like, oh, this, and this. I'm like, you're not really, you're not really. It's not really going to happen. They're going to do stuff like. Export to Omniverse or whatever, but I wouldn't let that discourage you. I think I the way I see it is that there's a whole world out there. There's really a whole world just to play around with it. Is it challenging? Is it daunting? Yes. Sadly, there's going to be some time. It's been about I think 4 years now since I started learning Unreal. 4 years. I'm still learning a whole bunch of new things with it. But, I'm getting to a point where I'm very comfortable with it. And not only that, but I'm kind of to a point where, if I've kind of started noticing I'm kind of compared to like people who work with this, I'm kind of in a good position, There are plenty of people better than me at it, That's one truth, but I think, I'm very comfortable with this. I'm very comfortable. I have some skills in just learning, and sorry, my voice is cracking up. I've been screaming all day, but I've been learning and it's just started from messing around, just taking the program, seeing what it does, and breaking it,
You're not going to completely get, like, the best way of describing it is you're not going to get the results you want if you're just going to sit around and wait for it. You know, you just gotta go out and do it and see what you can come up with, I guess. That's the best way of describing it. I think. And there's some people who are afraid of this program, afraid of Unreal, because it's complicated, yes, but in fact, you know, I'm seeing courses like several $1,000s. At least several thousand. I could easily, like, if I have to teach somebody how to work with the Unreal Engine and how to build it, it would be at least $1,000 course or something I like what I'm doing. Like, literally, this is some, like, high level stuff that you've seen. Or sorry, this is it's kind of funny, you know. At least I've seen courses several $1,000s that cover fairly what I'm covering. They go into much more, you know, they obviously they have a game plan. They don't just, well, I just kind of wing it. Or, you know, my short attention span kind of jumps from one thing to another, and that annoys the hell out of people. And people always, you know, that's the one thing that's the one comment I usually get once in a while is, if there's a certain idea, you know, there's certain, like, if I find something, like, I'm like a dog that sees a squirrel and I just chase it. So I'll be teaching and then suddenly I find something and I just go and chase it for half an hour or something. And it completely throws people off. It's kind of funny. I think it's not so much of a learning course. I think this is more of me just breaking it and seeing what I can do with that. And I think it's quite, I don't know how interesting it is, but yeah, of course I've seen like a few thousand just for Unreal Engine. I don't know. Just something to really think about. I don't know how many people like really specialize in this kind of field. I don't know how much, you know. Yeah, what's even funnier, like someone asked, like, I was just messing around, they were quite impressed with it. They asked if I ever took one of those courses. I'm like, no, I just went and broke it. I just went and experimented and made movies, and that's all, you know. That's all, and I'll find something new, and it's weird because there wasn't, like, when I started 4 years ago, there wasn't really any courses in the Unreal Engine. You know, I'll find it here. I'll see it. Well, Epic. I hope Epic doesn't take the video down, but I know exactly when I first really got serious into it. It was this one here. It was this. So yeah, I was at this event. And there was a computer lab. And we all just kind of sat down and talked. And I was talking to like people who were like work in the professional field, like visual effects and animation studios. And then here comes me. You know, here comes me, just sits down in the computer lab, and we're just, I didn't have it saved or anything. I wish I had my little thing, because I was playing around with camera work, And we were talking to each other, like, you know, like, oh, you should try this, or what's this, or okay, I see how this works, or you know, let's try to change terrain. And they even go through this, and it was a fun little course here. So yeah, he's changing the depth of field. He's adding little vents. Yeah, this was 4 years. You know, this is 3, but it's going to be 4, close to 4 years. So yeah, he creates this little event here. We change this lighting, and yeah, interesting. It was fun. You know, this studio up in Montreal was next to me, and we were just kind of going through and discussing the timeline and everything. And you know, I was like, oh, it's similar to iClone. They were like, oh, it's similar to, you know, Maya, whatever they use. I don't remember, but it was fun. That was way back when. And then that's how I kind of got into the program. So, and that's when also when they had their the live link come out, which was interesting. Remember, people got really upset about that. I think, yeah, let's put some decal work here. And if anyone's wondering, always build this. Just learn how to build a set in Unreal. Don't do any animation yet. Just learn how to build a set. Know how to light. Use rectangular lights. Use, you know, just go and like use something from Mega Scans and just kind of build a set. Also, that's the one thing I always tell people. Like, that's how I got into it. Really, when I really went and downloaded this program, I just built the sets, and your work is not going to be the best at first. It really isn't. Mine wasn't. I still wish I can go back and redo it, but I think, let's see. Pretty good. We're almost done. Yeah, I think I'm done. So now we need to build the safe. Get the safe here. It's not bad. I think it's off to a pretty good start. There's some detail here. The lights here. That's a bloom effect here. And I know one thing is a lot of people kind of rely on emission. Yep. Yeah, I think a lot of them kind of do, like, yeah, they do. Like, I've seen some, like, a Udemy course can mostly just kind of covers the basics, how to light, how to set design and everything. Not that, but also the versions change as well. Like UE 5.1 is different from 5.2 and 5.3. Here's why they're different. But at the same time, I don't want to cause any trouble or any fuss or anything like that, but I feel like there's certain channels that just display, oh, here's this new. I mean, it's used. It has its use, I think. But I just see many people who just constantly showcase the new version, but they don't really do anything with it. They don't play around with that, and I wish people would go into more detail. I see UE channels do this where they just show off, oh, here's the nanite, and then they don't really do anything with it. I'm like, okay, whatever, why? Or, like this camera tool. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to, actually, I'll just advertise this again. Yeah, they just play around with the new toy or the newest, the new, whatever it is. They just play around with it. They don't do much, and that's it. And I don't think it helps. I think it's just I've mentioned before in another live stream chat. There's a difference between tools and toys, and if there's just a channel that just demonstrates what I call toys, I just ignore it. But if there's certain tools, I'll listen to it. I'll keep an eye on it. That's why I don't. God, I've even ranted about this. I have some negative opinions about about certain things like Midjourney. Like everyone just puts a prompt in. But the problem is, like, you can type all the little prompts in, but why does a shot work? Why, what makes it look nice instead of just a prompt? That's the most important thing. Don't let that be the final product. You have to know why it works for you or why the shot looks good. And I think that's an important skill to have. The machine can replicate, but, I hate to be corny, but there's a level of expression that a machine can't beat. But yeah, this is a pretty good camera system. That's how I feel. Like I don't want to knock AI too much. I would rather see AI for stuff like Headshot 2 and all that. Headshot 2 uses AI assisted tools, and I know Aculips does AI assisted, which I love I love AI when it does its tedious stuff for me, but I just don't like it for the final image because it's not. I don't think it's my image. That's how I see it. I don't I want to visualize. I want to have all the lighting and I want all the control and I want it because I just have issues with it. I just think I just don't want it to be the end all be all, and I don't think it's something to be dependent on. That's my personal opinion. I think it's more important to know why a shot looks good and how to render and everything. But that's my little rant. That's not so much a rant, but that's my little how I feel. I'm not dismissive towards it. I don't think. Dismissive towards the concept of AI. General, not. People can call me what's that term? People were the people with the steam engines and all that. They were so pissed off about that, but I just I see it on Twitter where people just get so overtly excited about AI images, and they're like, oh, this. I'm like, I think it's more rewarding why it works. Yeah, it's like the same with music, why a certain beat works or why it kind of works well. I'm more interested in that, and I just don't think you can really get that with a prompt. I don't think so. I think it's much more rewarding and much more fun to know why this kind of shot works. Why does something like this work? and you have control over it. That's the most important thing. Once you have a lot more, you're not like gambling with the with prompts. Okay, if we shine a red light here, if we have a plan here, here, and here, this will work. You know, or how can we convey emotion with this? I think that's just something to really. I don't, and that's I mean, and anybody can learn that skill. Anybody can learn it. It just takes some time to experiment and see and just kind of play around with it. Just see good images. That's why I always go to like Shot Deck. Let's look at like I said, I like going to Shock Deck. It kind of gives me an idea what to play around with. And I'm thinking, okay, this could work, or we can play around with this composition, or why does this shot look good? That's the most important thing. Why does this shot look good compared to this shot and this shot? And once you kind of piece it together and then find out what the effect has on your audience, and really that's a lot more rewarding, I think. I feel like I sound like a really grumpy guy, I guess. Well, not so much grumpy, but I don't know what that term is. Like, people are afraid of technology or something like that. I don't know what that term is. I don't know what it is. It's gonna drive me nuts. But I just think there's. I think that I don't know. I just see an overexcitement on it, and I like. Yeah, but I just don't know. I'm an old-fashioned person at times. I could be really advanced with the Unreal stuff, but at the same time, I'm kind of still grounded. That's how I see it. Alright, so we're done with that. Yeah, let me find a shot here that works. I feel like I'm gonna piss off a lot of AI people. I don't mean any disrespect or I just think it's a lot more. There's just something fun about knowing why it works and what you can do to your audience. Like, how can you make your audience feel if you change a certain thing or change a little light somewhere and build and have your set designed a certain way. That's why I always tell people design a set first. What time of day? I want dawn. I'm just looking through some ideas right now. I feel like I'm going to piss off a lot of people, but yeah, but I think there's also something really fun. I do want to point out, like, when you get your hands on something and build it and have fun, and just there's just something I personally enjoy more. Like, I just kind of like think about it. How can I do this and work with it? And there's a challenge, and it's like a puzzle for me. Like, how can I make this work here? How can I make it work? How can I do? And I think that's a really fun task. How can It's like this fight scene. Like, how am I going to make a fight scene work? How can I play around with it? How can I get the best effect? Oh, I'm trying to find this shot here. I just don't want to, like, I don't want to show anything here because, number one, there could be, like, nudity. And, yeah. Apparently, YouTube doesn't like it when I show that. Yeah, they get really pissy. There's one for Akira, but you know, I think I need to work on, like, I definitely should work on Sky Girl around December-ish. That's when I'll I think I may have a couple ideas, but John Wick films. Yeah, that's perfect blue. Sorry, some yeah. Sorry. You know, I think there's just I don't know. Sorry, I'm just looking through. I'm kind of getting a few ideas. Yeah, looks like Kigamusha. Sure. You know, Kurosawa film. Funny enough, George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola helped him fund it. They really liked his work, and obviously George Lucas owes Kurosawa a lot. He gave him his career. Yeah. So it's just something that, like, I always kind of like see a lot of these, you know, get a couple ideas what to work with, why this shot works. And Kurosawa is interesting. Like, he handles motion very well. If you really want to film it, if you want to learn how to, like, animate the camera or have something work with crowds and wind and, you know, like water and wind and everything, and how the camera moves from point A to point B. And this is something I do. Like, when I move a camera, it usually goes from point A to point B to point C. It kind of tells a story, and that's Kurosawa. That's basically what Kurosawa does. He'll move one point just because the story, like, let me go find a shot from Akira. I'll explain it. Yeah, let's. I feel like. Yeah, Yeah, let's go back to shot deck. Oh, there has to be something from Akiru. Yep, there's Akiru. Everyone thinks, like, when it comes to Kurosawa films, samurai, but Akiru is just, I think it's one of my personal favorite Kurosawa films because it's emotional for starters. It's just a fantastic story. Yeah, so it kind of goes from point A to point P here, kind of buried in work, and that's how he does it. Like he'll have, characters will kind of get, you know, he'll move cameras around like from A to B to C. Like he'll have someone here, then here, and then kind of get covered in newspapers, stuff like that. He does that. He'll move like have crowds move around. Or he'll move the camera in slightly. Really great film if you haven't seen it. I definitely would check it out. Is there a site like this that's free? Film Grab. There's one site called Film Grab. I like Shot Deck because I can actually build a collection and have a look at it and kind of get an idea what to work with. Not only that, but it also tells me kind of tells me like what to like what color to work with here. Is he using a spherical lens? Is he using, what's he using here? Sorry. Just kind of plays around with colors here. A lot more information. Not only that, but I can save it. Yeah, he's using a spherical lens. You can tell because, the bokeh. I just kind of think and get ideas like why it works, and I think it's an important lesson. I think this is pretty much as valuable as a film school, like just knowing why a shot works. And I think my own advice is, personally, it's not so much what the camera is doing, it's so much what's in front of the camera is what's important. That's always my first important thing to think of. I think too many people, and you see this with Hollywood, modern Hollywood does this a lot, where they tend to think the camera is the first thing. And then there's always everything has to be pretty. And I don't agree with pretty. I don't like it too much. I'm more important what's in front, how I can frame it. And most importantly is how I can use it to tell a story. I think that's important for me. It has to tell its story. I don't really care about pretty. I just want it to tell a story. Like, I want to use color to incite a mood. I want the lighting to be good. I want everything to be shown here. I want to kind of get your eye here, so when I do a camera shot, she's going to be up here, so I rearranged the props here because that's her objective. I want to frame it so your eye goes to her, and then it goes to her, and then it goes to the safe. I want to get you the idea of like being with her, like her sneaking through this entire warehouse so she doesn't get caught. Kind of close in, how I would frame it is very close in. I'll probably use a telephoto lens. Like that, but just kind of debating if I don't think I should. I'll probably show his thing, but I'll kind of keep it to her. So maybe like when she's sneaking around, the camera kind of goes in and then goes back out. Like you're kind of in the moment with her, and I think that's an interesting idea. I think to work with. I want it to feel like you're on this mission with her too. That's how I'm kind of thinking about this. I'm kind of playing around with that idea, and I think it could work pretty well. And then finally, there's going to be a payoff. So it goes A to B to C. There's a payoff. Doesn't work well. I won't spoil what will happen. But there's going to be a fight, which I'm going to use a wide angle, and then kind of have a fight. I want to make sure that the fight is energetic. You could feel it. Not only that, but I just want to let the camera be fairly simple. Cut in when I need to have a hit or a punch or an impact, something to make you feel it. I want it to be suspenseful, intense. I want the people like to kind of get a couple ideas what to work with, and this is what's going through my mind right now. I always think, what's the scene about? What I want the viewer to think of, and you can think. And there's one thing you guys are thinking about is I don't mention, oh, how does this look cool? I don't mention that, or how does this look. Sorry, I mean, how does it look good, or how do I make it stylish, or anything like that. It's more like, how do I want to get the impression like you're in this mission with her? How do I want to get this mood, this tense feeling? That's always that's on my mind. It takes a backseat. I don't care about that too much. I always want to make you feel it, and that's my filmmaking. How do I make you feel? How do I make a conversation scene work? What the actors are doing, how does the action work? That's what I'm more focused on. Not too much. I just think that's how I kind of see it. So let's see. I think I'm going to limit his viewpoints and focus more like on her. So when she moves around, so I'll just kind of move here, and then when he's out of view, that's when she turns around. So maybe she kind of looks back. So you can walk here one direction. Go here. Kind of wait here. Stops here. Yeah, I definitely know how to shoot this. This is going to be an interesting scene. I think that's... You're probably seeing where I'm going with this. So if I duplicate this camera here. There's a focus here, so point A to point B, grabs it. That's going to be an interesting animation. Maybe I have to cheat by having it cut to him. So maybe I can have an animation of him turning around.
maybe something like this. Good lines here. Make sure everything points in. Like this. Like here. That, but I probably could make it like this. Just like that. Here, turns around just like this. Nice wide angle lens, just like that, turns around. And now she has to make sure she doesn't get caught. I think this could work pretty well. So add more props here. Just a little bit of the balance. You want a nice little balance here. So he stands here so that your eye catches here, balance here, so something doesn't, even though I imagine looks, you still want some balance here. So you want some leading lines here, so it kind of directs your eyes right to here, so that's where you would stand. So you would turn around. I think that could be a pretty good cutoff point. She looks over. And then backs over here. And then time to go. Clamps it. And fight starts. I think that can work pretty well. Where's the lighting on this? I think it's fine. I think the lighting can work pretty well. I think some people used to have a shot like this, but I don't know how. I don't know if that's going to work. I have to see what works, what kind of creates the effect I'm looking for. So when I want her to jump down. Jump down probably like this. So she'll have to jump down. Probably leave this here. Have something like this for balance. Jumps down. And then he notices it. Probably dozing off or something. Oh, it's 12:30. Well, sits here. So I should have him sit here. See what the camera works. Maybe I have to move it a bit. So we know that there's a threat. Mission. Okay. Threat. Mission to knock him out. Point A, B, C. Okay.
don't think that could work. Oy. Yep. I think that'll do it for me tonight. Yeah, tomorrow or so I'll try getting that safe up. Kind of decorate here, kind of work on this decoration. And then kind of decorate this and this a little bit. Probably put in some stuff here. So yeah, hopefully it works out. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll just kind of keep this up. Make some enemies out of the AI people. Anyway, see ya.